Today on Legally Us, Ariana Madix takes aim at Raquel Leviss and Britney Spears celebrates her legal win. And why hasn't Diddy been arrested? We've got that plus so much more on today's Legally Us. Hey everyone, and welcome to Legally Us. I'm Christina, that's Neama Rahmani, President and CEO of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Hey Neama, how are you?
Doing great, Christina. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. I know last week we spoke about Tom Sandoval versus Rachel. This week it's Ariana. So Ariana Madix's attorney have responded to Rachel's revenge porn lawsuit. So according to court documents, Ariana's legal team argued that Rachel was seeking to punish and blame Ariana for the negative reaction she received as a result of her affair with Tom Sandoval. So the filing alleged that Rachel's lawsuit is an abuse of the legal process and that her allegations be stricken and Ariana be rewarded her attorney's fees. They said Rachel does not seek to vindicate any cognizable rights, but to punish Miss Madix and deter others from exercising their constitutionally protected right of free speech. So Rachel filed the lawsuit back in February, accusing Tom and Ariana of revenge porn and invasion of privacy. Ariana and Tom broke up in March. As we know, there was a whole scandal. We didn't escape it for months and months and months. So Ariana discovered an explicit video of Rachel on Tom's phone while they were dating. The drama between the trio has since played out, as we know, on Vanderpump Rules. Ariana's attorneys argued that she learned of Tom's affair with Rachel in the worst possible way, and she found the video of the pair having phone sex. Ariana was devastated and immediately confronted Tom about the issue and told her friends of the betrayal. However, Ariana claimed that she never shared any of the video footage that she found with anybody but Raquel. So where do you see this one kind of going forward? It's kind of like a he said, she said when it comes to this. But Ariana and Tom are pretty much saying that there's no merit in this case.
Christina, I think Ariana has the better case both in the courtroom and the court of public opinion. California is very First Amendment friendly. And what Ariana is doing is filing an anti-SLAPP motion. That's SLAPP. It's a strategic lawsuit against public policy. And it says, listen, if you file a lawsuit against someone for exercising their free speech rights, you can file this special motion to dismiss. And if it's granted, Ariana is not only going to get the case dismissed, she's going to get her attorney's fees paid for.
Okay. Well, so as we know, we spoke about a little bit last week, but Tom and his legal team requested that the suit against him be dismissed or amended. These are obviously two different things. So where do we think we stand in Tom's case now?
And Tom's case is a little bit different. It's an invasion of privacy case. And what he's arguing is that Rachel knew about this all along. And she's saying that this was something that was staged or scripted. And therefore, there was really no privacy right to be violated. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out during discovery. Did Rachel really know about this before, or was this all unscripted reality TV?
Right. And, her attorneys came back saying that he was victim blaming, and that is actionable as well. Is that true? Can they go after him for something more?
Potentially, yes, but I think the real victim here is Ariana. At the end of the day, Tom and Rachel had this affair, and she was the one who was in the committed relationship with Tom. So I don't think it's fair for anyone to be calling anyone a victim except Ariana.
Okay. All right. Well, Us Weekly confirmed that Britney Spears had settled her lawsuit with her estranged father, Jamie Spears, over her conservatorship. For her lawyer, the settlement means that Britney will no longer need to attend or be involved with court or entangled with legal proceedings. Britney won when the court suspended her father, and Britney won when her fundamental rights and civil liberties were restored. We know that the conservatorship ended a while ago. So what was this kind of like final loose ends?
So Britney Spears was under conservatorship of her person, which means that she couldn't make any decisions for herself, but also her finances. And her father was managing her finances for many years. So when Britney Spears was finally released from her conservatorship, there was an accounting to be done. There were some allegations that Jamie Spears and Britney's former lawyer had misused Britney's funds. So there was some back and forth and some litigation related to Britney's finances. But it seems like that's all been resolved now. So Britney's legal problems are now all over.
Okay, so she is a free woman.
She's a completely free woman, and she was when the conservatorship ended.
Right.
But apparently she's come to some resolution as to how much money, if any, Jamie owes her.
Got to talk about Sean Diddy Combs. So an associate of him, Brendan Paul, has been formally charged with one felony count of drug possession. He pleaded not guilty to the charges, with his attorney telling TMZ we'll be dealing with this case in the courtroom, not in the court of public opinion. So this latest development has a lot of people wondering, why hasn't Diddy been charged? You know, we had that federal raid. It seemed like things were moving along quickly, but nothing has happened since then. So what do you think the holdup is?
I don't know, Christina. I'm very surprised that Diddy hasn't been charged yet. And this is why. There was certainly enough evidence to go into two of his homes. That means there's likely enough evidence to charge him as well and go to a grand jury and get an indictment. Now, there's the possibility that agents recovered so much evidence that they're still going through it. But really what we're talking about here, and probably the best evidence in the case, is video evidence. Diddy is allegedly not only participated in these sex acts with minors, but he recorded it, if you believe Cassie and some of the other plaintiffs who have sued him. And he also reportedly had a lot of cameras in his home. So maybe agents are sorting through that. But now it's been weeks with no charges in sight. So I got to tell you, I'm surprised.
Yeah, if you were Diddy's attorneys and now that so much time has passed, are you hopeful? Is this like a legal win in their case, or is this just kind of like a waiting game, I guess?
I don't think this is a win for Diddy and his team. I think he will be indicted. And it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. There's so much evidence, so much allegations against him. Multiple victims have come forward that if I were Diddy's team, I would be prepared for charges and an arrest.
Yeah. Is it almost maybe because like you said, there's so much evidence, maybe there's new things that they have uncovered that they weren't expecting, and then they're possibly building new charges against him as well?
Potentially, yes, but it's almost May, and we are talking about allegations that came to light 6 months ago when Cassie first filed that lawsuit in November. So I know additional victims have come forward, and there's been other allegations and lawsuits, but law enforcement and agents have had months to talk to the victims and get the information they need. So they really should have it by now. Yeah,
it's interesting. I know another case that took a lot of people by surprise was Harvey Weinstein's case being overruled. Talk to me a little bit about this. Like I said, nobody saw this coming. So why did this happen? How did some mistake like this happen? And now what happens going forward?
Christina, I was very surprised that Weinstein's conviction got overturned and the judges ordered a new trial. Yeah. And this is why. When you have a criminal trial, you can have testimony of the victim, of course, that was sexually assaulted or raped, and he or she can testify as a victim. Mm-hmm. But you can also have what we call prior bad acts witnesses. Those are witnesses who may have been victimized, but whose conduct isn't charged. And that testimony can come in because it's relevant to the claims or defenses in the case. Now, in Weinstein's case, his sexual assaults really follow the same MO or pattern. He would invite girls to his room, young women, and he would trap them and he wouldn't let them leave, and he would sexually assault them. And when multiple victims are telling the same story, that's something that trial judges have a lot of discretion in allowing. So the case went up on appeal, and the New York Court of Appeals, which is their version of the Supreme Court, barely ruled by a 4-3 majority that the trial judge made a mistake. I was surprised, and a lot of other lawyers were as well.
So what happens going forward, and does this have any influence or any consequences in his other case? Because he was also charged in Los Angeles as well. This is what happened in New York. So now does anything affect that case as well, and what will happen next in New York?
So the New York decision won't affect the California case. Mm-hmm. Weinstein still has to serve that 16-year prison sentence, and New York law has no precedential impact on California. The district attorney has said, the district attorney in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, who's also prosecuting Trump hush money case, has said that he will retry Weinstein. I really think the only question is, are the victims willing to go through that process again, go forward, testify? Obviously, you need to respect the rights of the victims. But if they're willing to testify again and go through the whole process, I fully expect Weinstein to be charged again in a new trial. And one way or another, I think he's going to die in prison, whether it's New York or California.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty horrific for all these women to have to relive this over again because of a mistake.
It is really sad, Christina, and sexual assault is the most underreported crime. Victims oftentimes don't come forward. Law enforcement doesn't take their allegations seriously. Prosecutors don't charge the cases because they're difficult cases. So if you look at the studies of the percentage of women who are raped, a very small percentage of those perpetrators are actually brought to justice. So sad what the New York Court of Appeals did in this.
Yeah, it really is. All right. Well, Neama, thank you so much. Lots of big stories this week and always appreciate your expertise.
Of course, my pleasure, Christina. I'll see you next week.